Hello, and welcome to High Fever, the Indiana Fever basketball podcast. I'm your host, Josh Rosendes. Tough game today. Fever fall to the Mercury 85-82 at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Phoenix goes to 2-5, and Indiana to 2-6. Man, it's a bad game. We'll start from the top. To begin the game, Mercury hit 5 of their first 7. They were kind of on a roll. Taurasi and Griner were absolutely eating inside. We'll talk about the inside defense and what happened there. The Fever looked. I'll be honest. They looked okay from beyond the paint. They were hitting mid rangers, hitting a couple threes early, and they were able to hang around with the Mercury, which I thought would be a good sign. I was like, okay, Griner is really one of, besides Asia Wilson, one of Leah Boston's toughest defenders. So I was like, okay, they're gonna, kind of let her get comfortable, kind of let her feel out the game before she has to, go and do this. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna give Boston time. Egbo looked good in her minutes. They pulled Aaliyah a little bit sooner than they did in the other games. I think they noticed she was kind of getting beat on a lot of like Griner just like pull-ups and drives to the basket. So they pulled Aaliyah and they put in Queen Egbo, and honestly she put up some solid minutes. Like those were like good. Some of like the minutes that she put up were the ones where we kind of like got into a good flow and got back into the game. So I'm glad that honestly Christy Sides rode with Egbo for longer than I think she would have earlier in the season. Honestly, good minutes from Egbo. Good ball movement. There were a couple plays I was watching, especially early in the first half, where they were just slinging the rock around, just 4 or 5 passes before looking to shoot. And like that was my thing. Like if we're gonna play fast, okay, can we at least get like good shots? Because we were just playing fast and just throwing up just absolute bricks. But it seemed to work. They were passing it around and getting good looks. So I'm gonna give the Fever a thumbs up on their ball movement. And that just comes with time. Honestly, this is a really young group, and we're gonna work on that chemistry, and we're gonna get it better. Let's talk about the defensive performance by Lexi Hull. That was really, really good. On the broadcast they always go, Lexi Hull, the defensive, the best defender, right? They put her on their best players, and I hadn't seen it. That's for damn sure. I mean, I'm watching this lady run around, and it's like, okay, is she the best? This one, she locked down to Rossi. To be fair, Rossi's 41 years old. Happy birthday. It was her birthday. But a good performance from Lexi Hull on the defensive side. I mean, she put up some, pretty good mid-rangers. I'm happy to see her finally be able to hit those. It was just good. It was a really good performance. Now, going to unfortunately, bad performance. Aaliyah Boston. This is, I said last game that was her worst game, and this is her new worst game. Again, she's a rookie. Take everything that I'm about to break down here. She's a rookie. This is only her 8th game in the WNBA. I'm not gonna roast her too hard, but that was her worst game. 4 points. I'm looking up her minutes here. She had 23 minutes, 2 for 4 points, 7 rebounds. So she was doing work on the boards, but I think she had a lot of trouble with Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner did not let the Fever get anywhere near like the basket. There was a ring, and she kept them out. And like that's just what a veteran big is gonna do to a rookie. And like, look, she's not gonna be like this assertive player. Aaliyah Boston is big. Like she can move around people. But I don't know if we expect her to do that, really lay her shoulder into women and move them around in the paint. So I don't know if we can expect that so early, but she definitely, this was her worst outing. Unfortunately, it's gonna happen. One game is gonna be a best game, and one game is gonna be a worst game. That's how it works. Um, this is like another thing that I was thinking about while watching this game. The Fever have trouble with big teams. If a team is just large, they have trouble. Unfortunately, Nalissa Smith, she can kind of create versus a bigger player. Same with Leah Boston, but I'm thinking specifically of our guard play. Um, you've got Lexi Hull, her frame is just smaller. Same with Wallace. Just a smaller frame, and that's going to cause trouble. That's going to cause trouble, you know, all the way back to when we're trying to set up a shot, right? When we're trying to set up a play, that is just going to cause trouble. Grace Berger, another one who we rotate in, smaller frame, so it is the Fever are just going to struggle in that area, and obviously we're not going to lose. We shouldn't lose, to every big team because there are a lot of big teams in the WNBA. But I think it's up to the coaches and it's up to the players to develop ways that we can better use our players against the bigger teams. Speaking of Melissa Smith, 29, 12, and 4. Her best game by far of this season by a mile. She went off. She was going toe to toe. There was a stretch where it felt like her and Griner, which is boom, 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 buckets from mid range. She's a bucket. Nalissa Smith was so good, and I expect Chrissy Sides to look to her more, maybe work her into some more plays. That was a a really good performance for the rest of the team. Some of the scoring leaders on the team who were struggling. Great performance by Smith. We'll talk about BG. Brittany Griner is a monster. I don't know. Obviously we all know what happened where she was arrested in Russia, and there was a lot of talk like, hey, is she gonna be physically ready? And dude, she is a monster. It's surprised me. I mean, obviously, a savvy vet, but man, she can move, she can plant and just put her shoulder down and drive to the basket. It's ridiculous. I don't know how the Mercury are so bad. I mean, the players around her are not great. You got 41-year-old Rossi trying to create, but damn, she's a monster. She's a beast. I was super impressed. We'll talk about the end of the game. Wheeler comes down and misses the game tying three. We called the timeout before the play, which is something I think, honestly, Chrissy Sides has not done very well. Is create plays in the final minutes. Again, she's also a rookie head coach, so I'm gonna cut her some slack. But it does. The title of this video or the title of this podcast is least clutch team returns, which is what I was calling the Fever, and they might be the least clutch team. It's hard. 3 points in the last 2 minutes is what I wrote down. I highlighted that. 3 points in the last 2 minutes. I mean, you just can't have it. Like if we're gonna win games, if we're gonna win, you can't score 3 points in the last 2 minutes. That's like, for this league that's so tough. They always say this thing. There's only 12 teams. There's only 12 spots. There's 144 women in this league. They're 144 of the best women's basketball players, in the world. So if we're gonna win games, if we want to win games, we can't be scoring 3 points in the last 2 minutes. Like, that just cannot happen. We need to find somebody who can give us a bucket, somebody who can create Um, and honestly, I think she's on this team. This team has individually shown great flashes, and I think we just need to find her. She's somewhere, but you know, it wasn't our night. So that's it. That's gonna do it. Indiana stays in Indiana, stays at Gamebridge, playing the Mystics, 5-3 Mystics. Um, I'm saying trouble with big teams. Elena Della Don's on her way, so get ready for that because she is coming. She'll be there. So um, yeah, I guess I will see you on Tuesday